By the way, Nathan Bassel just liked our tweet about Evil Dead.
Oh, yay.
Really? Wow.
He's awesome.
I love this man.
Leslie Vernon, man.
Yeah,
he's the best.
The legit actor who played Leslie Vernon likes us or our podcast.
It's so cool.
He was so active.
That was like the best day ever when he started tweeting with us.
I was legit fangirling out
I know I was
when
too.
he was tweeting at us.
Like, you remember when you said this thing? And then when you said that thing too? That was hilarious.
Yeah, and who else tweeted at us from that movie?
The writer.
Oh, you mean
writer of that
someone
movie.
who was in a movie called Home Alone tweeted at us?
Oh,
this is the part where I issue an apology. Welcome to the Horror Virgin, by the way. I am opening this up with an apology. Didn't Angela Goethals tweet at us?
She did. She
liked
did.
it.
She likes the tweets. I'm not sure if she. I'm not sure if she
likes
actually.
the one with the episode link.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys listen to the Behind the Mask episode, Angela Goethals was one of the leads, the second lead in Behind the Mask.
Lady?
We talked about how she was in Home Alone and other movies. I mistakenly thought she was in the movie Camp Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
She was not. I got her confused with another actress. So for the entire episode, we're calling her Camp Nowhere.
Yes. And we should have been calling her Home Alone.
Sorry,
Definitely
Angela.
Yeah.
Sorry, we fucked up.
We're sorry.
Sorry,
but we
I
love you in
fucked
the movie.
up.
Clint is what the French call les incompetents.
I'm looking up everything.
Yeah.
From now on, yes. Oh my God.
So we just got done watching
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. The remake.
Did we all say it at the same time?
Buy me a Coke.
Oh, shit.
Todd.
Yeah.
You had a tough time.
Oh, dude.
honestly,
This was rough.
This was maybe the worst that I've seen.
Jen, I believe he asked me.
I just wanted to explain to you how you felt.
Matriarchy. I'll say this, Jen. It was rough. Like I really didn't like this movie.
Was this the toughest? The toughest you've had so far, or is Hereditary still number one?
Hereditary is still
Okay,
the roughest. But this is the goriest movie by far I think I've ever seen. Hereditary was pretty gory, like the dissevered's not a word, right?
No, it's not.
The severed head on the street with the flies all on it. That was
the best.
Amazingly gross. But this is like consistent gore for 90 minutes, and that was rough. And there were some jump scares that got me. There weren't as many jump scares as there were in Hereditary, which is why I think Hereditary got me more.
Yeah.
But this, oh my God.
I forgot how relentless this was.
Yes.
Scary. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's what it, and it's gore. It's not necessarily scary. It's just gore and blood and gross.
I was hard the entire time.
Dude, I had a hard time with this too.
It was the best.
Jen took some great photos we posted on social.
I did,
you guys, if you
yeah.
haven't seen them, they're hilarious. Me like cowering in the corner and fucking Clint like looking back laughing at me.
Yeah.
So funny.
It was really funny.
So
dicks,
fucking
man.
funny.
Like,
you
giggling and
gagged a
clacking his
lot.
hands.
Like I thought you were gonna spew.
I did,
really
yeah.
did. Yeah.
We needed to bring the trash can over.
I can't.
The tree rape.
You good? You good?
That thing that
Okay,
comes out of our
all
mouth,
right.
that big long black slithery thing, and then like crawls on the
The thing
ground
about
over
Todd
to her
is
and
all
then-
you have to do is start talking about it again, and he'll start dry heaving.
One of my best friends of all time, a guy I was on the road with for years, learned.
Is this CF?
Yeah, Chris.
Shout out to CF.
Yeah, Chris knows who he is. He knows that if he just makes that sound, like the gagging sound, and gets in my ear with it, it'll make me throw. Like he has made me throw up.
You know, the other day I asked
He posted
him.
something like that. He was like,
Yeah.
I can make Todd throw up.
Yeah, and the other day I asked him, I was like, what is that thing you do to make Todd throw up? Because I want to
God.
start doing it.
Please
is
don't.
Jen was like, go to the bathroom. Don't puke in the loft.
Vegetable tray.
Studio, Clint.
I'm
Studio.
like demon vomit all over.
But
the
yeah,
place.
well, I'll point out the points.
We'll
where
get to it. We'll get to
when we
it.
go
Okay,
through
so
the movie, but
before we get into this fucking movie, tell us about the mugs, guys.
the
What's
mugs.
going on with the mugs?
So if you don't know by this point, we do a giveaway for reviews. And anyone who leaves an actual like written out review, not just a rating, 5-star rating, guys, but you actually have to write out a review, right?
Yeah.
So and it can be anything you want it to be, as long as it's
It's really easy. 2 or 3 words is all you really need to do.
Yeah, Todd's the best. It's 3 words, very easy to say, and then
Just make it true. So say Jenn is the best.
well, debatable,
Jenn is
and
the funny one.
Well, also debatable. Smart one, I'll give you.
I'll
So,
take it.
but what we're doing is whenever we get reviews, we draw names out of our mug of names.
Our mug names.
And we're actually using a mug that we're giving away. So it's
you hear it?
got the Horror Virgin logo on one side and the what I call the merch
Jen is
logo on
modeling
the other
it
side.
like she's on The Price is Right.
Oh,
This is. Have we explained what a podcast is?
Yeah,
That no one can see you.
Jen is clearly mistaken about what this medium is. So we're gonna draw
So
a
I
name
don't have
out.
to wear makeup when we record.
Whoever's name we pull out, all you have to do is reach out to us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and we will send you a mug. Obviously, we need your address, though, to send it to you. So if you would pull out a name.
I will pull out a name. Hey, and if it is not your name, we are going to keep your name in this mug.
Yes. So it's not like we reset them every time.
All right. Are we ready to draw, guys?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
Can you not roll your tongue either? I can't either.
Can you do it?
No. God damn it. I get so mad every time I watch Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because for like 35 years,
There's a singer out there for the Struts who rolls his R's when he sings. It's awesome. I fucking love it.
Oh, I hate you.
I love it.
All right. So our winner is M, the Disney Gack.
M, the Disney Gag.
Yay!
Reach out to us on socials and we will send you
Gag.
a mug. Guys, if you want a mug, just leave a rating and review.
Yeah.
And we'll send you one when you win one.
And if you are listening to us on another medium that is not Apple, send us a screenshot of your review and we'll stick your name in that mug
Or
too.
if you're listening to us in the Modern Horrors feed, pop on over to our feed, go ahead and subscribe and leave a rating and review to enter. All right. So let's talk about this movie because it broke me as a man.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it broke me as a man because that is a title that is totally held by Toni Collette and Hereditary.
Dude. It may
because
never
it broke
be taken.
me. Yeah, no, I mean,
she
but
killed
yeah,
in
but
that
this movie really scared me. So
this was a rough movie.
Let's go through it. So
I had a hard time with this.
Can I just say this?
Go through this fucking movie? I gotta get to Asheville.
Can I just say this? I didn't realize that kicking heroin was so hard. I didn't realize you had to sacrifice family and
all
friends
of your
to
friends.
do that.
Yeah.
And your tongue, apparently.
Yeah.
Cut that tongue right in
But
half.
hey, but once you get off the heroin, the tongue magically heals itself.
Yeah.
All you have to do is become possessed if you want to beat heroin.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
Guys,
but
it's simple.
Just
if
get your
you're
brother to bury you alive. You're
if
over
your
heroin.
friend is on heroin, do not be part of the crew that tries to kick them.
And don't take her to a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, the tetanus cabin.
Ugh. What is
I mean, if I
happening?
were on heroin, and I could have been in the past,
Are you on heroin now? Clint?
maybe not. I would like to be taken to a creepy cabin in the woods, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just, I
That
would like to be
seems
taken there anyway.
I just
so,
feel like you're just asking for somebody to murder everyone. You know, even if there are no demons involved. Yeah.
Well, you've clearly never kicked heroin.
it's okay, guys, because their nurse friend is there.
Yeah,
Everything was
Their
taken care of.
Nurse friend. I don't
All
know
right.
if she finished nursing school, man.
Just like women I'm with, they certainly didn't finish.
Huh.
Maybe it's because you're a little sophomore for them.
Come at me, Kate Dangerously 007.
Oh, dude. Hey, we love you. Thank you for the constructive criticism.
And review.
I wrote a blog about it through my tears.
So, Todd, were you, how
Hey guys,
familiar?
if you can't read either,
How familiar are you
I'm in your head, man.
with the Evil Dead lore?
Okay, so-
because you seem to know a few things.
Yeah,
you
Tom
know
was all
about Ash
excited.
and Bruce
He was
Campbell and all
skipping his
that.
way in the door. It's like,
Here-
it's going to be a funny movie day,
I
guys.
know. I was so mad at you guys because I thought we were watching the Bruce Campbell
He,
Evil Dead.
clicked his heels up in the pod laughed a couple of times.
Hello, governor. Get your papes here.
Cheerio,
I don't know why I
old chap. We're
became.
watching Evil Dead.
I don't know why I became
day,
the Artful
governor.
Dodger from Oliver,
Throw
but
another shrimp on the ball, baby.
I thought it was going to be like the Bruce Campbell version, and
Even though we
I
told you it
haven't
was the
seen that
remake.
either.
Yeah, we
but I
did.
know,
He doesn't
I know,
listen.
but I don't listen because I hate all the movies we do. So I just show up and whatever we're watching.
And there's
we're watching.
Ash versus Evil Dead too,
Yeah.
which is confusing. So
And we-
So I thought it was going to be a light, scary, funny movie,
And it was not.
There were
At all.
little to no laughs in this movie at all.
And we debated starting with the original trilogy, but we
Yeah.
just thought, you know what? Let's have some fun. We haven't
We've
watched
been-
a scary, gory movie in a while.
Right.
Like
We've been taking it too easy on Todd.
Yeah.
I do feel like my last few movies have been pretty easy. Like Behind the
Yeah.
Mask was really, honestly, a great movie, but funny. It wasn't so scary. It was
Right.
Well, just enjoy
And then
those
before that, we
memories.
did, and we were doing like Dr. Giggles and
Yeah.
just some other.
Nathan, I
you've
love
had
you.
it. You've had it easy.
Yes,
if you're listening,
Nathan.
if you're out there listening, I just love you.
I did love that movie. too.
Man.
Man.
You
yeah.
wouldn't believe how much cardio we have to do. As someone who ran 9 miles this morning, I get it, Nathan.
Yeah?
I get it.
You almost ran downstairs a couple times. You were like, I don't know if
dude.
I can get through this. You
I
kept
did.
asking like,
Yeah.
how much more time do
I
we
think I
have?
asked that 4 or 5 times.
And I
yeah.
always feel so guilty too. I'm like, do you want to stop? Can you handle it? Should
Well,
we
there
No, I
was,
love
there
it.
was a part where
If he's
just
not
wanna watch
squirming, I'm
Home
not having a
Alone?
good time.
Clint
Because I
went-
have empathy.
I think
Yeah.
did you go to the
I don't know
bathroom
what
or
that
something in the
is.
middle of it? We paused it for whatever
Yeah.
reason, and I like really needed that break.
Yeah.
I
I did
just
too.
like
I
was
was hungry.
breathing deep and was just having a hard time with it. I really was.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through the movie. So the movie starts with them arriving at the cabin. No,
the movie starts with the
movie
girl in the
starts with the girl
woods.
in the woods,
And
right?
the Deliverance twins.
And I completely forgot this
grab her.
opening. Like it had been a few years since
Yeah.
I had seen the movie.
The first thing I remember like cluing in on, like just really focusing on, was they capture the girl in the woods,
Yeah.
right? And they put her against the post in the basement.
The stake, yeah.
The stake. And
It's
they pull
definitely
the mask off of her
the
face.
movie definitely sets this scene up to imply that this girl is running from these two guys that are trying to rape her, basically. Like
It
these
looks
two
that way,
redneck guys. That's what it appears to be.
Yeah.
Turns out, plot twist.
Yeah.
She's the real danger.
Honestly, I thought that.
Yeah, because it's her dad.
Yeah.
Was her dad one of the guys,
Her
though?
dad
There were
was
a
the
lot of
guy
creepy
that lit her on
dudes.
fire.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, but there were a lot of creepy
Like,
dudes
where's
in this.
mom? You killed mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the dad is the one that caught her in the woods. I think it was the two creepy guys that were standing off to the side.
Yeah, they knock her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did really like that we saw that at the beginning because we see characters do that later on in the movie. Like all of a sudden they're their normal selves.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, that's something that came from the first Evil Dead. You know, when they try to manipulate you, they go from demon mode back to, you know, the way they were. And
Yeah.
It's always something, you know, sappy
And
that they
was
bring
like
up.
Exorcist too, like when you would hear him speak in the voice of his mother, you know.
Oh, Exorcist.
I
can't
Not
believe
Exorcist 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, Exorcist
I know.
also.
I can't believe I'm about
Pardon
to
me.
say this, but I can see why people liked this movie.
Yes.
I will say, like Hereditary, it's well done.
It's very well executed.
I hated it, but I understand why people who like horror movies are like, it's a good, scary movie. And
Well, you know, Jen and I were talking
hated
about this
it, but-
earlier. Like, this movie, everybody thought it was a bad idea when we heard it was getting made. Like, it, you know, it was made back in the 80s. It's still, I don't want to say the first one still holds up well because it doesn't. It's like
But
watching a film school movie.
It's like it is what it is, you know, and you watch it knowing what it is. It's kind of a goofy, kind of scary movie, but I mean, you love it for what it is.
Yeah, but
you
in
know?
Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, like, I mean, they still hold up really well, and everybody
and
just
you
like,
just can't recreate that because
No,
the feeling of the
you
movie
can't.
is what people love. You
yeah.
know?
So all they
Even though they
kept-
did recreate it for the second one.
Well, so for the remake, it was almost a completely different movie. And everybody was really, really blown away.
Well, and there's a
because
big
he
debate
brought
over-
it, man. They brought the gore.
They really did, and they made it a lot darker. And there's a big debate over whether this is a remake or a sequel.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen the original ones, but if the originals took place in the 70s or 80s,
Yeah.
Early 80s is
I
when
could
it
see
started.
how they could spin this as it being a
They
sequel.
could, and
yeah.
that was
be.
originally they were going to do that. They were going to have Mia and Ash team up in a Freddy versus Jason kind of movie, not against each other, but then Ash versus the Evil Dead happened, so they kind of scratched that.
Yeah.
Yep, and already canceled.
But yeah,
Sad.
yeah. Oh.
3 seasons.
I do love Bruce Campbell. Like,
I
I
do
think he's
too.
great, and I wouldn't mind going back and watching the original Evil Dead because I haven't seen them, and
You get a lot of comedic breaks, which you did not get in this movie at all.
I would have appreciated some comedic breaks.
Yeah, the feel of this movie is very different, very heavy, very. I like this one better than the original one.
Yeah, and I might agree with you. I can't believe I'm saying that. I recently revisited the original, and I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up watching it, obviously, but it's tough to watch.
I didn't grow up watching it. I watched the original after I had seen the remake, and it was just one that I missed. I'm not a huge Sam Raimi fan, and it just I enjoyed
You
it.
can
I
get the
can
fuck out
see,
then.
I
kidding.
can see why people like it, and I love the part in the original with the swing bonking against the cabin door. That's so
Mm-hmm.
spooky, and I don't know. The original is good, but I like.
I
this
mean,
one
in the
better.
original, we still have to give the original props because they shot that movie for, oh my
Oh,
God, how
yeah.
much did that movie cost? It was like $75,000 or
And
something.
That was one of
Really?
the first
It
Cabin in the
was.
Woods movies, wasn't it?
I honestly, I have no idea. Clearly,
I should know this.
So it's one of the first like known ones.
Well, you have stuff like I can't remember when Sleepaway Camp came out. There's also the
80s.
first Friday the 13th, which
yeah,
may have
but
come
that's
out before.
not the same. That's like those are camp movies. Like this is the group of teens go to a cabin.
You might be right.
movie.
You might
I'm
be right.
always
There's
right.
probably a 70s horror flick out there
Yeah,
that,
I'm
that
sure.
I'm not thinking of right now, but yeah.
But this is
So-
one of the ones that kind of started that like sub genre.
True.
And it is good. Look, the original is really good. Haters, don't hate on me. I prefer this one.
yeah. I mean, that's fine to say.
Yeah.
They're both. If you, it seems like you think they're both good movies. This
Yeah,
is
they
the one
are.
you prefer.
Well,
It's
we
fine.
were also talking earlier about how like there have been so many knockoffs of this, like in sort of the subgenre
Yeah.
that you're talking about, and most of the time the acting is horrible, the writing is bad, you don't really give a shit about what's going on. It's all just like a pacing, like a waiting game until the kills start, right?
Right.
This movie actually has a plot. I'm actually on board with what's going on.
Yeah.
I love the idea of trying to get this girl clean, even though it's a really bad idea.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
don't ever do
medically,
it this way.
This is a horrible
But
idea.
it's a great setup for, you know, like we don't want to let this girl leave.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Even as crazy as she acts, we can still kind of convince ourselves that it's because she's going through withdrawal and
Yep.
Yeah.
not that she's possessed.
And I also like that they tried to leave a couple of times and they couldn't,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
So
explain
anyway,
my humor.
they blow her head off, and then it cuts to title card, right?
Yeah.
Evil Dead. And then we get to the cabin. So everyone's arriving at the cabin, more or less, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at the cabin with
And
Mia.
we see this perspective through the eyes of Mia's brother, who I don't remember his name because he's not.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy from one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot sequel-y.
He looks like Jack from Dawson's Creek.
He does
what
a
he
little
looks
bit.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Now,
that Balfour guy.
I've noticed that a lot of people in Dawson's Creek, they have boy names, but they're girls. So
Yeah.
is Jack a girl?
Jack
is a
boy.
girl. Oh, wait. Yeah.
But he's
wow.
gay.
Did I just confuse you with my logic?
Yes, you did.
Wow.
With your, is it a girl
Jack
or a
and
boy?
Andy, I got confused.
So they're at the cabin. They introduce all the characters, and honestly, I don't think any of their names matter really.
Okay, but
No, not
the
really.
thing
Except
about
for
their
Mia.
name
Mia brought.
was it
Oh, okay.
Damon, Eric, Mia, Olivia, Natalie. The first letter spell out demon.
Interesting.
And Damon means demon, right?
Who's Damon?
Didn't you say Damon?
I said David.
I could have sworn you said Damon
I
as well.
thought you said.
All right, let me go back.
I'll say this.
What was the dog?
We can
We
listen
should have been
to
recording
it.
that.
Were we not recording it?
No, we never
Why would
record these.
What are you talking about?
We've been talking for 40
This whole podcast is taking place in your mind.
Shit, am I on Shutter
None
Island?
of us are real. Never seen that. All right, whatever.
Oh, we got put on
You
the
will.
list, dude.
God damn
Oh,
it.
shit, and I just spoiled it too.
Anywho.
Lee.
David, Eric,
okay.
Mia, Olivia, Natalie.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me.
What's their nicknames?
Oh,
Jen?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Can
got,
we
calling
go
him
with
face girl, arm
okay,
girl,
I like
Mia.
that. Face girl, arm girl, brother. Let's just go with brother.
Yeah.
Mia, because she's the main character. We can remember
Yeah.
Mia.
I'll just call her brother boy or something.
Yeah. Okay.
No personality.
And,
And then,
who's the
long-haired
blonde?
Lee.
Yeah, long-haired Lee.
we have a buddy named Lee who looks just like one of the main characters in this.
Uh-huh.
So I guess his name is
Eric.
Eric in this, but because you know their names. But
Every one of these cabin movies has a fucking guy like this in it.
he
that,
looks like he just got done cutting down a tree in the 70s.
exactly.
Yeah. And that was intentional as an homage to the original.
But he looks like he's just like really into Foghat LPs.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't
Yeah.
fucking get along with anybody, and I found it unrealistic that they would even invite him.
Well, he's mad about the whole stupid idea to try to detox her in the tetanus cabin, too. In the original, that character is a girl, right? The one who's like drawing and doing the art and like reads the book or
I don't
something.
remember.
It's that blonde girl the one who doesn't have a significant other with them.
Probably Linda, his girlfriend.
Because
I don't know.
Yeah.
Natalie is Mia's brother's girlfriend, right?
Yes.
And then
Which I don't think I
Face
would
girl.
want to meet the family on this.
Yeah,
kind of
no.
if your boyfriend invited you to be, hey, do you want to go on like this cabin trip where we
No.
help my sister get off heroin? Doesn't that sound like
she
fun?
might like demon lick your knees and like try to stab you with a
She'll
box
love
cutter.
you.
Yeah.
She'll totally love you when she's
Yeah.
not puking her guts out
I'm
or
out.
wanting to
Let's
die.
just say she's probably not going to be a bridesmaid in that wedding.
She did not have much. They really didn't get to the girlfriend at all. She
No,
didn't have
they
much
didn't. I'm
personality.
okay with that.
It's an extra body to, extra limbs to be chopped off.
Yes, but so there's always got to be 5, and there's pretty yeah.
They
two-
did a
two
very
boys,
good
3
job at
girls, or
spreading
vice versa.
around only 5 bodies
Yeah,
to
they
fuck
did.
with.
And man, ooh, they really fucked with those bodies. So they go to the cabin. They're trying to get Mia off heroin.
Are we sure it's heroin? Did anybody say
No,
heroin?
it's off drugs. I don't think there's ever.
We just saw her dumping out a powder of some
It looks
sort.
like heroin.
I can't
to me.
and
imagine
she's
what
like,
else it would be.
I hereby promise I'll never do drugs again because that's how
I do
addiction
solemnly
works.
swear to never do drugs again.
And then she pours it in the well or something to contaminate all of the water.
Well,
with
no,
the
she did it
drugs.
because Samara wanted some
Oh yeah,
smack. Yeah.
yeah. She's getting real low.
Yeah, she was like, send some smack down. I'm the ring.
Smack. Smack is whack, Todd.
I don't know what drug it is. I don't just like it looks like heroin to
Yeah,
me.
we really don't know.
Perfect plan, man. Yeah, I can't believe it didn't work.
So anyway, they start talking. I mean, she's obviously not jonesing yet.
Not
No.
So
yet.
she
not
seems
yet.
normal. She seems just like one of the family, whatever.
Yeah,
They
they're-
take her in the cabin.
Yeah.
They talk a little bit in the
Talking
cabin.
to the brother, apparently the mom died, and
Yeah.
Mia was very supportive. Was the one with their mom the whole
Yes.
time, and
Always
the brother
a
was
dead
not
mom.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Always a dead mom.
And then he gives some excuse as to why he wasn't there, but it is
Yeah,
sort
it
of a
is.
bullshit excuse. He
Oh,
just
yeah.
didn't want to be there. I just
Yeah.
got the job at the mechanic office.
Yeah, at the
Mechanic
shop.
office, the shop.
At the mechanic office. Maybe he was working in the.
You can
office,
tell I'm a
thinking.
car guy. Yeah, I got to get down to the
There
mechanic
are two
office.
kinds of men. Todd. Oh.
could you guys imagine like anybody, like some dude that works at Jiffy Lube being in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
No, but I can imagine someone who works at Jiffy Lube skipping out of their mom's funeral.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, do you know somebody who works at Jiffy Lube?
No, and honestly, every time I go to Jiffy Lube, they seem super nice.
They're really nice. Yeah.
They're always very, very
Jiffy
helpful.
Lube, yeah.
It's not very bright.
Valvoline, fuck those guys.
No. This episode brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Yeah. If you need lube, go to Jiffy Lube.
They'll hook you up. Okay, so in the process of all of this, they find a basement. The dog starts
Oh, that's right.
They find the bloody.
That's right. I
door
wasn't sure.
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
The dog,
dog is
which
named
is weird.
Grandpa.
Just a weird fucking name.
Although I kind of want to name a dog Grandpa now.
No, you don't.
I'm going to do it.
You're going to outlive it.
Yeah.
It's just a strange
Just
thing.
to fuck with people.
Is your granddad alive?
No, they're both dead.
Okay, then it's fine. But I mean, if you're it's like a weird power move. If you're like, this is my dog, granddad, because you're a shitty
people will
granddad.
just think that that you believe your grandpa got into the dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Grandpa, he finds the bloody basement door.
Yeah, and it is to note, I think, before we get to
the joke in your head.
I really do.
It is to note before we get to this point that they sort of established that the brother kind of ran away. Like the other friends had taken her through.
Yes.
Yeah, in Flint.
She
They mentioned it
OD'd.
in Flint.
And Flint.
Yeah, they went to Flint and tried to get her to get clean. She broke out and ran away or whatever.
Or they backed down because she really wanted to leave.
There was a Mia-shaped hole in the wall.
Stealing my jokes, man.
I'm sorry, it was
In the
funny.
window,
That was a
yeah.
Jenn joke she made during the movie. But yeah,
right.
Remy and Campbell and all those guys are from Michigan.
Yeah,
So
she's
to
wearing
our
a
left.
Michigan shirt in the movie for
yeah,
that.
she is. So this, I don't know if this movie takes place, quote unquote, in Michigan, but they
They
do
don't really
throw
say
back
where
to
it
that.
I
is.
think it
Yeah.
takes place in the woods.
It does, but I'm pretty sure Michigan's 90% wood.
Is that true?
I have no
There's
idea.
a lot of wood in Michigan.
Yeah. So the basement had a period, and they go down into the basement and realize there's a bunch of voodoo shit.
Yeah, okay, if you see a cellar door or any kind of door with blood smeared all over it,
yeah.
don't go in it.
Do not go
But
through that door.
Especially if
but
it is a
guys,
basement.
really think about it.
No.
You'd open that door.
No,
No.
I would
You'd
let you
open
go
that
down
door.
there and see what
No.
happens to you. If it turns out okay with you, maybe
You would
I'll
really
check it out.
you would really go outside and call the cops before you would open the door.
No, here's what I do.
Yes. I
would
If
totally
I see
open that
a
door.
bloody basement door in my cabin, there's a gin-sized hole in the window, and I am peeling out of those woods in the car.
I would call the cops from the back seat of your car.
Yeah.
For sure.
You at least
You
have
would be
to.
grabbing onto the top.
You at least have to see if a killer's down there. I mean, you want to know where the killer is, right?
No, you don't.
No, that's how you become the killer.
You mean the killed? That's how you become the killed.
Yeah, well, I would probably become the killer.
Okay, what?
Well, good to know.
What sort of twist?
Getting out of your car in the woods somewhere.
There's a Todd-shaped hole in the pod loft right now.
Is this how you get out of all your danger scenarios in your head? You become the hunter.
Yeah, here's what I do. I peel the paper cutter thing, and I just whack a bunch of shit till I've become the
Oh,
hunter.
you rip off the
faculty on
paper
it?
cutter in
Yeah,
slow
I
motion,
do. I wonder whatever happens to
a la Josh Hartnett.
Whatever happened to Josh Hartnett post Lucky number 11? Sorry, I was waiting for Clint to be like, he's been like he always does.
Right, like
yeah.
he does.
I'm tired. I'm tired of having this argument.
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Josh.
So they go down to the
They
blood
go
basement.
down to the blood
Right.
basement because it's stinky in the cabin or something.
Yes,
And
it
they
does. And
find-
she was she was talking about how it stunk, and they were like, "Well, I don't know. I sort
I
of
think
smell
that
it."
Mia is a highly sensitive person.
Well, she
so
was already
picks up on
jonesing
it.
by that point,
Yeah,
and so
she
they're
was
just kind
jonesing
of
by that point.
ignoring
Which
anything that
makes
she
you
says.
more sensitive to dead cat smells.
Well, apparently.
Does
Yeah,
it?
it does.
I didn't know that.
So
Highly sensitive people always pick up on the dead cat smells.
dead
before
cats
anyone
can
else.
smell even worse if you're on
Highly
heroin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or you're trying to get off.
you're trying to
Coming
kick
off
it, trying to
heroin.
kick the heroin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody just burped, and I smell. Speaking of dead cat smells.
Are you sure you're just? Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
you smell it now. It got
I
to
thought
you.
it was psychosomatic, but I looked over and Todd's got a shit-eating grin on his face.
It was shit burping.
At least you didn't burp into the mic.
I didn't. I was classy about my burp.
Yeah, you blew it in Jen's direction.
I actually blew it. The thing is, I blew it in your direction, but she
I
smelled
got
it first.
nothing.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a highly sensitive person.
Well, you're
I
also
always,
much closer.
I'm
that's
protected
true.
by the fan.
So they go down to the blood basement and they see that
There's a dead cat hanging room.
there's a bunch of dead cats in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Was
in
it
Seven
cats?
when they walk into the room and there's all the air fresheners hanging from the ceiling, except it's dead cats. There's other stuff down there too.
But
Like it's all just super creepy.
That's where they find the book, right?
Yeah, and they find the book.
Yeah,
It's
dipshit. What's his name? What is the nickname?
Long-haired Lee.
Long-haired Lee.
They find it. It's like wrapped in like plastic, like
It's
a
plastic
hefty
with
bag.
barbed wire.
Barbed wire around
Yeah,
it.
like what are
Yeah.
you doing?
So maybe no.
Yeah,
Why would
don't
you
read
pick
the
that book up? Like
Also, there's a bunch of dead cats in that room, so get the fuck out of there.
Long-haired Lee, no offense, is an idiot.
Yeah, he is, man.
Yeah, he doesn't belong in this movie.
No, he totally belongs in this movie.
Yeah,
because he's the idiot that starts all the shit.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's all
happening. He's pretty vital to the movie, Clint.
There has to be a dumbass.
I mean,
in
all the
movie
reasonable women in this movie would have just ignored the book in the dead cat room.
Women can't read.
Went to a hospital.
And an excellent point.
Women can too read.
Feel very uncomfortable with
guys. If you can't read.
I learned from this movie that all you have to do is just not read and bad things won't happen to you. So if you don't want to read but want to absorb book-like information, go to Audible.
Words.
And if you do want a free 30-day Audible trial, go to audibletrial.com/Horror Virgin.
Yeah. I like how you snuck that in there. The back door.
In that
you backdoored Audible.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I don't think that Audible has a Book of the Dead available.
Really? The Necronomicon isn't
available? I think so. I mean, I haven't checked it out because I just
Google
have my own copy.
It would honestly be narrated.
You have a copy of the Necronomicon?
I mean...
Is it narrated by Morgan Freeman?
No, I read it. It's narrated by me when I read it out loud, playing my records backwards. You don't even really know it's a book yet because it's just in plastic bag. And if you haven't seen the movie,
shaped.
Did you think it was a book?
Well, okay, so
you
asked if it was the book.
Like?
You're like, that must be the book. So you know that much about
I'm familiar with the concept of books.
So
He knew it was called the Necronomicon. You didn't.
I know what the Necronomicon is. I didn't remember if that's what
I am aware that books exist, and I'm aware that the Necronomicon was the book in Evil Dead. Although I've never seen it.
Specifically the Necronomicon?
Yes.
Okay. But did they ever say those words?
No, I don't. I didn't hear them.
Not in this one. No.
So that's what I was asking about. Not if it was the Necronomicon. I didn't think it was like the joy of cooking or anything.
Oh no! It definitely wasn't the joy of cooking. There were no recipes. Well, recipes for. Death recipes.
Recipes for
fail.
Death. Recipe. I mean,
either way, it's bad.
This is dead right now.
There is an electric carving knife involved in some of these recipes.
I am
and boiling water involved. So yeah, it very well could have. And it's a recipe for bringing this ground chick back to life.
Can we
in the blood ring?
Yeah, let's. Okay, so she runs back to her room.
Yeah.
After, first she tries to leave.
Yeah, she's like, this is fucked up. There's dead cats in the basement.
Yeah,
there's a weird book with a barbed wire around it.
But they decide just to close the basement. We'll not go down there. We're here. We're locked in until she's clean. Yeah, and then we'll leave. Right?
Because
and
apparently
then
she's done this before.
Yes,
and she just wanted to get out.
So after they confront her, she gets pissy, rightfully so, and then runs into the room, and then within 10 seconds, it's out the window, and then gets.
That's when the Mia-sized hole appears in the window.
Yep. And then gets in the car and tries to drive away.
Not yet.
No?
Not yet. No.
I wonder if somebody
No, because this is when they go upstairs and long hair Lee starts reading the book. And but she's outside circling.
He has to get pliers to cut the barbed wire.
I know, because he's a
off.
fucking idiot.
Yeah, if it's that hard to get into a book, and then you find that it's made out of human skin sewn together.
Did they talk about
that fucking book?
I mean, it looks like that. You're not wrong. Yeah,
you're right.
It's a human pelt around this. Yeah. Yes. So she's outside circling in the rain, and he's reading the spell or whatever it is
and it
that
says,
conjures the
evil.
evil.
Do not read. Don't read this. Don't read. Don't say these words out loud. This word right here. Don't say it with your voice. And he's just like, well, why? So immediately the first thing he does is trace his words and then says them.
Yeah. Like an idiot man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Burn it down.
Uh-huh.
Burn it down.
We're not taking Lee with us.
No. Well, spoiler alert. He don't make it.
No.
But yeah, so he conjures the evil and it goes, and that's when I feel like the way they did the camera work for the evil floating through the woods, it was like a throwback to the original one. Because it doesn't look great. It's not ineffective. It just doesn't look great. But I feel like they did that for a reason.
Why? Yeah, those are
That's the exact camera angles of.
I mean, it's not bad. It just didn't look as good as the rest of the movie looked.
Oh,
so
yeah. No, that's infamous Raimi.
It's no flying Kiefer Sutherland point of view shot.
Ooh,
but
those Lost Boys.
Oh, man. Kiefer can get it. But yeah, I do like the woods. I like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. It just
it lets you know what's happening,
sure,
too.
Sure.
You know?
Anyway, so it zooms in it goes inside, the evil goes inside her, and she just falls to the ground and throws up. And that's when I asked.
I think the evil punches her.
Maybe it punched her in the stomach, and she throws up.
And that's when she said, "Did the evil enter her yet?"
That's what I said.
And that's when I started giggling, and I said,
"Yeah." And it hadn't.
Because she knew what was
what's
coming.
Gonna happen.
Well, and you shortly realize that it hasn't, because then she looks up and sees the girl who was at to the stake.
Yeah,
at the very beginning, who got her head shot off. You see her in the woods.
Her head is grown back too.
I thought that was a mirror image of herself. I got confused. It is in the tree scene. Okay, because she has much darker hair in the tree scene.
Yeah.
It honestly might have been. She's too far away to see the face, so it might have been. I don't know.
What it is an Evil Dead lady.
Sure. Either way, you see her up there, and that's when I realized she hasn't been entered, but she shortly was. Anyway, so she goes back inside, and then that's when she's like, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. This place is dumb.
Yeah.
I hate the woods. I hate the rain. And that's when she steals the keys, as you were saying, and she like leaves the Mia-shaped hole through the window and grabs the car and flies down the street.
Which is
the dirt road,
the smartest thing anybody in this movie does.
Yes.
Honestly.
I agree.
Yeah. Props to Mia. Well, and here's one thing I think is interesting too is like there's always somebody in these movies that senses what's going on and wants to leave. Like in Dr. Giggles, it was the girlfriend, and he was like, "Well, just go down on me, and then you can leave." And here, like, there's always somebody who feels uncomfortable and voices that. It's usually a woman, and they always ignore her. And I think the reason that they ignore her in this one is a legitimate reason, and that's the only reason I'm kind of down with them trying to get her.
That's
clean.
one of the reasons I liked.
Great writing.
Yeah,
I thought this was a well-written. I hated this movie only because it scared me to a point I was uncomfortable and just didn't like watching it.
Yeah.
But I also can see why people who like that feeling liked this movie, because it does seem well done. And I think because of what you just said, it doesn't seem forced at all.
Right.
She's there for a reason, and it's a reason that they would want to keep her there for.
Right. And nobody is happy to be there. So everybody, they're just like, we're going to power through. Right. Yeah. So, as opposed to it's just spring break and we can leave whenever we want. We just can't find our keys.
So it seems super genuine to me.
Yes.
Which I like. So anyway, she drives down the street. She sees, I'm going to say, an Evil Dead woman. It's either her or the chick from the very beginning who's tied against the stake in the road. She swerves and goes into what Jenn described as a mud puddle, but is clearly water up to her neck when she gets out of the car.
But it's only up to like the headlights of the car.
I mean, that's because the car is being held aloft by some sort of prop magic.
I think it's an evil puddle, too.
Guys.
The puddle is evil as well.
I have a pitch for a sequel to this.
Evil puddle.
Evil puddle.
Evil puddles. S with a $sign. Let's do it.
We're sitting on a gold mine.
Now this is a movie.
Down to Pound Puddle.
Puddle Town. This movie needs a goddamn sequel. I am upset that we have gone 5 years without it.
They've been talking about it.
I can see it. I mean, the original one got a sequel, and it's apparently not that great. So
the sequel to the original was basically the first movie with a bigger budget.
With a much bigger,
and
was it?
A
Hollywood version of,
Oh, yeah, so they upgraded. Nice. I often find that when I break up with somebody, I like to upgrade.
Somebody with the C model rather than the B.
That actually was very accurate.
Really? Why am I not surprised? Okay,
so she gets out of the car and is like swimming through the puddle to the other side.
Yeah.
And she like gets to the other side and she starts walking through the woods and then starts to
gets into a bramble bush.
I was going to say brambles too, but I wasn't in my mind. I was like, are brambles the thing? If I say the word bramble, will they make fun of me?
Yeah.
I don't know if
I don't think bramble is.
They'll make fun of you no matter what.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think I've only read the word bramble, so am I saying it right?
Brambly?
Is it brambles? Like how do you say?
This ramble about
the bramble.
See,
this ramble about bramble is in shambles, Todd.
Somebody else says the word.
Exactly. Exactly.
Your bramble ramble is in shambles. Nice, Clint.
Oh my God, the shamble bramble ramble. All right. So anyway, she gets held up in the shamble bramble ramble, and then the
we are making some bad T-shirt maker very rich.
Shamble ramble bramble.
Every episode is like another one.
Why is this bad
I don't know
T-shirt
if that's
maker?
What the motion they make when they make T-shirts.
Yeah, they're definitely not jerking it.
I was totally jerking it.
I don't know if
definitely jerking it during this movie.
I think if a bad T-shirt maker is making a lot of money, they are no longer considered a bad T-shirt maker. But
that's true.
Anyway, so while she's caught up in the shamble bramble mamble, she now I'm just saying words that don't even sound like it. The shamble bramble mamble. She gets visited upon by
visited upon.
Is it a mirror image of herself?
Now he's got fancy words.
I think it was.
Okay.
I think so too.
It's either way as an Evil Dead version of whoever. So it's an Evil Dead version of herself or the chick from the very beginning. That doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. She throws up a vine monster, and then the vine monster literally cooch rapes the bramble mamble shamble chick, Mia, who's like all held up.
Shambled in those those brambles.
Oh, she has been shambled up in those bramble mambles.
I feel like
this is the lightheartedest way anybody has ever talked about this.
About tree rape?
Right.
Yeah. This is definitely the funnest way anyone's talked about tree rape.
I feel like tree rape was the scene where you realize what type of movie you were getting into.
Yeah.
Like this was
I think you
rough
took a picture
for you.
Of me, right?
I did, yeah.
Someone posted it to our socials. Like, and I have both of my hands on my face. Like, what is happening?
You kept saying no.
Because we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I like the way they did it better in this version than in the original.
The tree rape is in the original.
Oh,
yeah.
Is
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How do they do it in the original?
Spread eagle on the ground.
It's
I'm into it.
It's this one's. I mean, just about everything in this one is more graphic than the first one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine just for a budget's sake, if you're doing it, what do you say? The first budget was $70,000.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Either way, really.
If only I had a device right next to me.
The original version seemed more exploitative.
Well, this one wasn't so much a tree.
It wasn't a tree.
It was like a vine monster type deal.
And in the original, it's like another branch just like sneaking up in there. And then she suddenly...
It's just Sam Raimi's. It's just Sam.
Just like sneaking up in there. Nice.
It's just Sam and Ivan Raimi's arms.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Low budget, no. Okay, $350,000. So I was only off by.
I was only off by
a little bit. By a little bit.
But still, that's a really cheap budget for a.
To be
Which budget? This budget?
No. The original was $350,000.
So anyway, she gets shambled, mambled, right? And then the next thing we see her is she's back at the cabin. We don't see how she gets there, but she gets back to the cabin somehow. Yeah. And no one's super pissed that I guess not the only car, but one of the cars is
she just wrecked it in the woods.
Yeah, she's like,
they probably don't even know that it's wrecked in the woods.
Was it her car?
I don't know.
Either way,
they still had the Jeep.
I'd be pissed.
But yeah, nobody was pissed.
She's trying to get off heroin, so it doesn't matter.
And she also came back like just fucking hysterical. So you know, we almost kind of open in the middle of that scene where she had already been talking. Yeah. So maybe they already bitched about the car.
Okay, and so then the next thing we see, I think, is her taking a shower.
Yes.
With her clothes on.
Well,
but not in the way Todd wants.
No, there was
no
usable nudity in this.
You kept thinking it was coming, and you were like, oh. No.
And
nothing.
So he didn't.
And then something horrible happened.
So I did not. Clint was the only one masturbating.
I was getting it.
It was the scene with the electric knife. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think the next scene is
all of it.
They're taking the shower.
No. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, because you have the outline. But
yeah. Not that it's legible to anybody but me.
Her brother finds their dog Grandpa beaten to death with a hammer, and he goes to confront her, and that's when she's in the shower.
Because she's still in the shower when he's like going in there all pissed off.
Yeah.
So they find Grandpa dead with a hammer.
So he's like beating on the door. She turns the shower all the way up, and it lit the
water heater on fire.
And it was like heating it up to the point where it was boiling water.
You start to see blistering on her face.
Yes, which was real gross. I did not like that at all.
And then Long Hair Lee goes in and does a little research and sees a picture of Lady Demon. He's already seen a lady getting entered by a tree in these illustrations.
Yeah. I mean, that's when we as the audience realize that the book is sort of also telling them the way the evil will sort of kill them or take them out or whatever, or enter them or whatever.
And things would have been clicking for him if she had just shown up and said, I was just fucked by a tree.
Right.
Yeah,
I just say... Had just read the entire fucking book instead of just said the words out loud and then pieced out. Yeah.
So the brother breaks down the door, goes in, and he tries to turn off the water. And I sort of like this because it's one of those things where either the director told him to or the actor made the choice to touch the faucet and then it was too hot. So he grabs like a cloth or whatever and turns it off.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm sure that was in the writing.
It's verisimilitude.
Yeah, either way, they don't say it was like, it's just a way of pointing out that the water was coming out boiling.
Plus,
there are a lot of things that happen in this movie that are just not vocalized.
And the boiling her face. Those were also clues that the water was really hot. And the picture of boiling water and the words that said... boiling water poured on her.
I feel like I'm being shamed for liking a choice the director.
Well, your fucking head was in your face was in your hands most of the movie, so
I wasn't sure where you were going to say his face was. But I did like how he touched the knob to make sure. Dwight Schrute would approve.
I mean, there was smoke in the room.
Yeah, steam.
So there was smoke from the from the fire on the water heater.
Was the mirror foggy though? Why are you looking at me like that? Have you never had a shower before?
Have you never gotten out of the shower with a steamy mirror that says "I still know"?
Yeah,
no.
Dude.
Never?
I do that sometimes.
Is this from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
Maybe.
Okay.
Right, Red Drum. Sometimes on the wall.
All right. So anyway, they pull her out. Oh no, this is when the next thing is the brother takes her in the Jeep, I guess.
Yeah.
And they try and leave. They try and take her to the hospital.
Yes.
Because she's got burns and they don't know she's been fucked by the devil.
And she's like drooling some white stuff too.
She is.
And at this point, there's also been some doubt about her coming off of heroin by herself.
Yes.
Like they're questioning the nurse
can
friend.
We handle this?
Yeah, and she's like, well, this is just like being in a hospital. Like, I'm
except
here.
I stole all these drugs.
Yeah, how did that nurse get, I think, it has to have been like methadone or something because they injected her with something so she could sleep through the night or whatever.
She obviously did not bring a lot of medical supplies because when shit starts going down, they have nothing to work with. Like there's no first aid kit.
Yeah, duct tape.
The brother starts duct taping every wound. Every time somebody gets hurt, he's duct taping it.
This movie brought to you by duct tape. When a tourniquet just won't do, buy duct tape.
Sponsored by Tarp.
All the tarps.
A snacky smalls.
What did you say?
So they go down and they realize that they are pretty much flooded in.
Yes.
Because the river is over the bridge. Yeah, the bridge is washed out. So they then go back and the brother explains that situation to everyone who is currently still alive. And this is where things sort of take a turn. Yeah. This is where things sort of take a turn because from this point on, it is Scare Shitty City.
Scare Shitty City in the Ramble Bramble Cabin.
It really does not let up.
The Ramble Bramble and the Scared Shitty City. It was very, very, very scary from this point on.
And really gross.
It was honestly more, I think, gory than scary.
Yes, I agree.
But I was scared, and I was also grossed out from the gore. There's for me, it's two different things.
It is.
Like Saving Private Ryan, I could handle the beginning scene because it was just gore. There was no scare, really.
Yeah.
And that was okay. It makes me uncomfortable, but I can get through it.
I think you're the only person on the planet that would compare Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan.
But I mean, it's gory. I'm just using it as an example of gore. I understand what you're saying, but clearly Evil Dead's the better movie.
No, I know, but that's
I'm just joking, Clint. I think Clint almost threw the mic at me.
I love them both for different reasons.
They're good.
But one of them's true.
That is a very disturbing movie to watch for a movie that's not a horror
The beginning
movie.
of it. Oh, man. So like the gore in that, I can make it through fine because it's just gore. There's no scary. The combination of gore and scary to me, do not. That is not cool. Holy shit.
Oh, listeners.
Jennifer like dotted her eyes toward the corner behind Todd and he flipped
I hate
out.
you so much. I can't sit here anymore.
It's already dark enough in here.
I can't sit
do you
here
want
anymore.
to trade seats with me?
Oh my, no, I'm just going to sit.
Because there's very little room to
I'm
be
gonna
behind
sit
my chair.
facing.
But it is still possible.
I'm going to sit facing the stairs. That scared the hell out. What was I talking about? Oh,
I don't know.
Combination of horror.
Change your pants.
Oh, yeah.
The combination of scary and gore, I can't do.
You can't handle it?
I can't do.
That's what a good horror movie is.
Yes.
Delivers on both fronts because a lot of them just pick one and run with it. They go with the gore or they go with the scare.
And this kind of movie, what I was afraid of was how much further they were going to go and how much more I was going to have to watch.
Effing too.
Are they actually going to show that thing?
Yes, and for instance, something like Dr. Giggles, of course it's not funny at all, but it brings the gore.
Yes.
I love it.
And you know what?
That's when horror movies fail. They don't bring one or the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this movie is all practical effects. There's no CGI in this.
I did not know that.
There's minimal CGI. There's CGI fire. And they like erase some wires, but all of the effects are practical effects.
Yes,
that's cool.
Yeah, as gory as this is, that is very impressive.
Have you heard of this director's neck? He's only done 2 movies at this point.
I don't know who this director is.
Okay,
somebody.
But have you heard of the horror movie with the blind guy? They're like trapped in a house with a blind guy.
What is that?
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Don't
Yeah,
breathe.
I have heard of that.
We got to watch that too. It's
thinking, so please stop explaining.
I don't remember the words.
Don't tell me 'cause it hurts.
No. Man, high school. Oh.
This is when they get back to the cabin after the bridge is washed out by water, right? And things take a turn, right? So when does shit start hitting the fan for them?
Okay, so they go. So Olivia, Face Girl, goes into the bathroom to get a sedative for Mia, and then she gets.
Olivia's the nurse?
Olivia's the nurse. Yes, we are using air quotes to describe her as a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we flipped through the book and we see somebody's face gone.
Oh, I hated
And Jenn just like was squirming because she wasn't this the
This was the part when I saw this in the theaters with my friend Kara. I remember we were both like curled up in a ball in the movie seat singing like no.
I felt like that's what I was doing too.
Oh man, this is the worst part of the movie for me.
Best part of the movie for me.
Oh, she has been thrown up on demon.
Oh yeah, demon.
Yeah. We haven't actually gotten to that. Yeah. So she gives her sedatives, puts her in the basement.
Yeah.
She
pukes demon all over, and
she
then they
falls
kick her down
into the basement after attacking all of them, or really trying to
and
attack.
Like saying, "You're all gonna die tonight."
Yeah, everyone will die tonight.
Hearing, like she's just opening her mouth and voices are coming out, which I think might have been recordings from the original.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It sounded like, and this may have been just the sound design or maybe the way I was sitting in the room, but it sounded like those voices were coming from outside the front door.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like she was just screaming.
They were coming from inside the house.
Well, it sounded like they were coming out from outside the front door because the front door had opened, then it closed again. But yeah, either way.
The Evil Dead voice is just coming from hell.
So that's when Olivia goes into the bathroom to wash the blood off of her and get the sedative.
Demon
But then when the vanity mirror on the medicine cabinet closes, her face is looking in it like super smiley
demon
almost.
Face, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. And I was out at that point.
I just wrote down bathroom awfulness on my outline.
It was the
yes. So at that point, it cuts to long hair Lee reading the book, seeing the face, the woman. Okay, I'm pissed. That book had a lot of naked women in it, like in these poses or whatever, and you never saw those women naked. I was very upset by that. Anyway,
Sorry.
Well, it's false advertisement.
That's why you don't read books.
Yeah, this is the worst.
They
Audible,
set you up
guys.
for a
This is the Necronomicon.
It
is not a Playboy.
Either way, oh my God.
So Lee
this
walks
thing
in,
is so
he sees a puddle
freaky.
of pee on the floor, steps right through the middle of it, and he's like,
because she pees. We forgot to mention that. Before she goes to cut her face off.
Why hasn't Olivia come back? And then she hears like some sawing motions in the bathroom.
It almost doesn't even sound like sawing. It's like knife on
chiseling away at her face. Yeah.
Slicing roast beef is a good example.
Which there was a cut of slicing meat earlier.
Yes, because
I had a nice little giggle.
Broken, and she's using a sliver of mirror glass
to just
like hack into her
slice
cheek.
Through her cheek. It was
when she looks
awesome.
up.
Oh man,
it's so well done, but I hated it because when she looks up at him, you see through her cheek to her teeth.
Yes,
and her evil eyes, and then she takes
getting
the
horny just thinking about it.
Gross. When she starts stabbing him. She takes the knife
and she starts stabbing
like, hacking at Lee.
Yeah, she stabs Lee in the shoulder,
and then takes the syringe that she had,
and stabs him in the face. And the glasses.
And it gets stuck in his cheekbone. Oh my God!
This happens a lot to Lee in the movie.
Yeah,
like this happens 2 or 3 times over, and
Lee's sort of like the tank of this group.
He doesn't do anything,
but he also caused
everything.
All of the shit to happen.
Yes, that's
by reading.
Fair.
Yeah,
never
he didn't
read.
Have
guys.
his Audible subscription.
Don't read.
But this was like I felt like the point where Todd wasn't going to make it.
Oh yeah,
she's just like going. It's all this stuff. It's all this stuff in one scene, and both of you were flipping out.
Yeah.
So the tree rape scene, I was gagging in. I also gagged at this one when he pulls the needle out of
like right under his eyeball,
under his cheekbone or whatever.
Yeah.
I gagged again because I couldn't.
And he slips on a piece of her face and falls back and hits his head on
God.
Yeah.
Do that right into the mic, Todd. Thanks, listeners.
Love it.
Sorry.
Haven't you ever eaten cheek before, Todd?
What?
Come on.
Beef cheek.
How are you supposed to handle Texas Chainsaw a couple years from now if you can't handle that? Do you actually know what Leatherface's face is made of?
I don't want to talk about this at all. Please, can we not?
So then he a piece of the toilet breaks or something, and he bashes her head in because she keeps crawling to get him.
It takes what was it? Was it the knife or a piece of mirror that she stabs him with pretty good?
It was a piece of mirror.
That's the
okay, because it was straight up in his chest.
Yeah,
and then she's on top of him, stabbing him with the syringe. And thank God for those glasses, man. And then he
thank God he's a fucking nerd with glasses.
Yeah, nerd. But anyway,
only nerds would unleash the dead.
Right.
So they come collect long hair Lee. sort of patch him up with duct tape.
Yeah, because that's how they patch everything up. Yeah,
that's true, man. He patches up all of his wounds, and his girlfriend kind of. I remember there was a line. His girlfriend,
died.
the nurse is dead.
Find her nurse's
the girlfriend
bag.
comes in and is like, "That's not gonna help. Like he's still bleeding."
That's fucking duct tape, dude.
Hon,
we need
you're
to get
an idiot.
out of here.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And nobody really questions what happened in the bathroom. I mean, he was good and stabbed by that point, and it was still in him. So I'm sure he was like, she tried to kill me. And he's like, all right.
And like, interesting. Like, if they weren't friends, do you think they would think that he tried to cut her face off and he did all of this stuff?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Like, this easily could have turned into a CSI SVU.
Most movies like this go there at some point in the movie where they think that some crazy shit's going on. They didn't.
Me too. And there's just no time for it because
because they got to have a whole bunch more awful shit
It's not like it doesn't immediately go back to crazy after that.
And they're not I guess the quote unquote leader at this point is the brother who's trying to keep shit together, and the brother like cannot accept that something like supernatural is happening.
Yeah.
He thinks that she just went crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe she got her period or something.
Because she's coming down. Oh, you mean Olivia?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Because it gets to this point in the movie where like
the
long-haired Lee is trying to tell him like, hey, I think this is because of the book or whatever. And he's like, what are you talking about? What's going on?
I've never read a book.
Yeah. I've got an Audible subscription. Dude, they're going to drop us as a sponsor.
100%.
Find me a car to work on.
You're right. Yeah. Which he does later on. So then the
girlfriend's
cellar
next,
door
right?
is open, and she's like carving some meat in the kitchen or something. Natalie is her name. Mia lures her down into the basement by being like, oh.
Well, it was basically,
you want to marry my brother, so you have to show me.
The
nice
fucking door was open. And she just walks over and she's like, I guess I'll go down there.
Yeah.
Well, she goes down there because Mia is like crying.
Right.
It's one of the times she doesn't sound like the demon or whatever. So she
wants to
why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. Anyway, this part fucked me up, dude.
I always remember this because they released a Red Band trailer showing that part where she cuts into her tongue. And I'm like, I have to see this movie.
Yes.
It was... I hated it.
So she attacks Natalie on the stairs. So she's down in the cellar with the door closed, and demon Mia, because at this point she's starting to look. She's got the demon eyes. Her face is getting all gross. She does not look like Mia anymore. She looks like a demon. And so Natalie's trying to fend her off with a box cutter. She's all licking her knee and everything. It's weird and gross. And then Mia gets the box cutter and just like licks the sharp part of it and like cuts into her tongue.
Yeah, when their tongue
sticks
splits.
the whole thing into her mouth.
Yes.
Oh God.
This is so hard.
I also took a picture of this reaction from both of them, and it is on social media.
Is this the one where he was laughing and I was like freaking out? Yeah.
Yes.
I hated this so much.
And then she's saying some very filthy stuff at this point.
Which normally
I'm going to eat your fucking whatever.
Normally I'm super into chicks when they talk dirty, but this was
there's a
not.
box cutter in their mouth, you can't quite understand what they're saying.
No.
I really love that part right after this where like the brother shows up and she's like, I'm going to lick your cock. And he's like, you're my sister or something. Yeah. She's like, your sister's burning in hell. She's not here.
Your sister's getting raped in hell. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That escalated strangely. But yeah, so then they lock the cellar door.
Chain up the door.
And then the next is like a montage of them nailing it shut and like chaining it down. And she's pretty much down there for not the rest of the movie, but until he goes to get her.
Yeah, and they have this conversation like, we have to kill her because now Lee has finished the book.
Yes.
And he
sees that there are 3 ways to purify her. There's either drawn and quartering her, where you rip off the arms and legs and head.
Yeah.
And burning her, setting her on fire like we saw in the beginning, or burying her alive.
Right.
So they're like, cool, let's burn the whole thing down, right?
Yes.
But then Natalie dies, right? So Natalie's in the kitchen.
Yes, Natalie does die.
Because Natalie got bit on the hand. So Natalie's like, oh, this was so gross.
Yeah.
Natalie's cleaning out the wound in her hand.
She's like plopping out little pieces of evil from the teeth marks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then it starts to spread up. Dude, Clint is just smiling like he really loves it. And the disease of evil, the evil is spreading in her. And she starts to like grab a knife to cut her arm off. And the
Mia
in the basement like pokes
don't
her head
fucking do
out.
it, bitch.
Don't cut your arm off, bitch, or whatever. And then she's like, I gotta, or whatever. So she's, this.
And they showed it, man.
I gagged.
I couldn't watch the whole thing. I watched more than than I normally do. But yeah,
it takes its time because it's not the ideal tool to use to cut your arm off.
Got me the worst than that is when they come into the room, see her, and it's still sort of attached, and then drops off.
It falls off.
That I hated this so much.
That was the sound I was making.
That was gross.
For different reasons.
But look, nothing a little duct tape can't fix, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've got duct tape. That'll
duct tape it right back on.
Yeah, and honestly, if we just get her a tarp, she'll be as good as new. Yeah. So,
and I mean, at this point in the movie, the first time I was watching it, I thought, well, maybe she's the new Ash. Like, she's going to go get the chainsaw and put it on her arm.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
And then we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Can we just go through this fucking movie?
We are. So anyway, that's when.
So then they're talking about how shit is all fucked up.
Yes.
And they really got to kill her. And this might actually be the time where they start specifically talking about how.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about it, and then Lee, long hair Lee, is having honestly, like, where he's going to take control. He's going to kill her because the brother can't. And I get that. I wouldn't want to kill my siblings either.
Right.
So he's like, I'm going to do it. And that's when Natalie comes out full on evil with the nail gun and starts shooting Lee and the brother.
She got nails all over her face.
Well, you hear her shoot nails before they hit any of them, and that is her shooting nails into her own face. I realized that later in the scene. I was like,
oh, I didn't notice.
I was like, is she just missing them? But she was shooting the nails into her own face.
She has to make sure it works.
Yeah, she's like, how do I make sure this works? I want to shoot my face.
The dead don't know hardware.
They don't.
Anyway, so
because nobody wants to help them in the Home Depot.
So she shoots long hair Lee in the forearm like 3 times, and then the brother, Mia's brother, like 3 times in the leg, and then he tactical rolls out of the way.
And every time something bad happens, Mia's just like down in the basement, just like finger blasting herself. She's so excited.
She's into it. You can't see the finger blast part, but yeah. And so they do eventually.
David shoots her arm off with a double barrel shotgun, the boomstick.
Yeah. So like long hair Lee saves him. And then she comes up and starts shooting Lee.
Long hair Lee takes the T-Rex away and diverts the attention.
Yes, and
then that was a Jeff Goldblum.
Save the kids!
Save the kids!
Save the kids!
Sorry, I went back to Three Musketeers since I had to save the kids.
You were gonna say.
Sorry. Anyway, God, Keith Sutherland in fucking Three Musketeers, amazing. Anyway,
Jurassic Park, Lost Boys, Horror Virgin.
We got around to it. So anyway, they do shoot her other arm off. So now she's literally
he has to kill her because he has an armless girlfriend.
If you can't get a hand job, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, guys, obviously I'm joking. I'm not a misogynist as some of you think.
But you are single, right? So if anybody wants those digits.
And very loud.
And a little sophomoric.
Loud ladies. Anyway, so that's when she's literally...
we all heard you.
She crawls up to the boy...
well, now I was confused by this because she was the only one that didn't take a headshot or head wound of some kind. Like she just sort of falls over with no arms.
Right.
And I thought she was going to come back later and she never did.
She never did. Yeah, I wonder if she just died
because the dead can't
fire.
Bleed to death. Yeah, so she probably just died in the fire.
That's what I thought too.
Was she actually dead?
I think so.
We don't. Well, that's what we're talking. We don't know.
See her die. No, but I mean, even when she got the nail gun, I don't think she was dead.
She wasn't. She sort of fell over.
She fell over and kind of like crawled up to the brother, her boyfriend.
So that's
she may have just passed out at that point and not actually died, and that's why we didn't see her come back at some point because she died during the fire.
And the
dead definitely don't pass out. So it was weird, and I kept waiting for her to pop up, and I was like, because they're so good at the use of only 5 people to work with as far as the gore and the body count and everything. Yeah, that was the only time it was kind of wasted, I think.
And then the crowbar, because before he shoots the arm off, she like beats the shit out of Lee with that crowbar.
And splits his hand down the middle.
Oh,
dude,
my God. I lost it.
Like started screaming and cheering, and Todd and I were like, oh!
Yeah, it was rough for me.
It was a very loud reaction.
I did not care for this. But yeah. So
that was when the condom
and that's
was
when
ruined.
that's when the brother saves Lee. Yeah. But anyway, so the girlfriend's passed out, dead, whatever. We don't see her again. She's for all intents and purposes, she's done. Yeah.
And is this the point where Lee sort of gives him the 3 options?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually think they were talking about the 3 options before they were attacked by Natalie.
Yeah, but at this point they're like, okay, fuck, we actually have to.
Yeah, we actually have to kill her.
Yeah.
And
so they're about
and he's like, here's what it looks like. These are theories. I don't know for sure, but we have 3 options.
So he pulls Lee out and just props him up by the car.
Yeah, and then he's like spreading gasoline, goes to light the gasoline on fire, which is wildly don't do that. If you just like put gasoline all over around you, you don't drop a Zippo in the middle of the floor because there's gasoline all around you. You idiot.
Because the cabin is made of
what? Yeah, you're real dumb. So anyway,
what you should do is take a pipe bomb and tie a rope around it and just like fish it.
Tremors?
Yeah.
Right. Or just do like a gas trail to the door, light at the door, and run away. Anyway.
But he decides no.
So we know
he
how
decides
to
against it.
Well, he decides against it because the sister's singing downstairs.
Yeah, singing the mom song.
Yeah, so he's like, you know what, I'm
well,
not
now I'm
this.
all sappy. I'm going to bury you instead.
Right. So then he goes to a burial or digging a hole montage.
Working for the weekend's plan.
Right. Everybody's digging holes for their junkie sister.
Nice.
You're welcome. Anyway.
I thought you failed.
He digs the hole and then he goes back in to go get her. So he goes in. I don't know what his plan was.
The basement is now flooded.
Wait. During the montage, we get him getting a car battery, getting the needles with the wires around them.
Yeah.
He's getting ready.
Some things are getting lit on fire with lightning, and there's a burning tree right in front of the grave.
And right. So
that ended up being kind of pointless, I think.
I think that was to signify that the evil went out in her, because when he covers her up, and we'll get there, when he covers her up, the fire goes out.
So it was
I thought the fire went out
at light for her evil.
Yeah.
Yes. It was the indicator light for it. Very good. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, he does that montage where he builds the defibrillator, more or less. And then he goes, what?
It's the only time he becomes useful. Yeah, who the fuck would know how to do this?
Car degree
guys,
now.
he's a mechanic, which is pretty much, that's all surgeons are.
He built this little device thingy attached to it with two needles where he can stab her and go into the heart.
So he's a mechanic, and he's seen a couple episodes of ER and MacGyver.
Yes.
And
you mean Thursday Night Football?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's read American Psycho, so he's ready to go.
Either way, so he does all that stuff and then goes down to the basement to go get her, and then she beats the shit out. What was his plan to get her?
She hereditaries out of the corner.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did bring
him in a well.
He did bring a lot of the sedative down with him, but.
Yeah, look in all the fucking corners if you're going to go down into a blood basement to get your demon sister.
No. I think the better plan is to walk into the middle of the dark room with a swinging light. That's clearly what you want to do.
Yeah, especially if it's flooded with a couple inches of muddy
water.
Oh,
yeah, really dumb. Anyway, so he's getting drowned in
the corner well.
Yeah, and that's when, honestly, you don't see him do it because you see like his perspective.
The impact. But all of a sudden he's not drowning anymore.
Right, he's not drowning anymore. And he comes up and he sees Lee has knocked her out, or at least knocked her to the ground.
Yeah, I think so. With something. Crowbar.
I think the crowbar. Yeah. And then he gets out of the well and stabs her and injects her with the sedative.
Yeah.
And then Lee is so hurt at this point that he just passes out. And then the brother just like
make sure he's face down in that puddle.
So the brother just lets him die. Like I did not understand this.
I think he may have actually died. He died sitting up.
You know who doesn't have a medical degree and is authorized to make the time of death decision?
The guy who made the car battery defibrillator.
Yeah. I mean, if you have no medical training, I don't want you over me like, you know what? He's definitely dead. I'm going to put him
in a puddle.
Yeah. What doesn't account for shallow breathing. Doesn't account for any of that stuff.
Right.
I'm just saying he's not Miracle
Max.
Max.
He doesn't even hold a mirror up to his mouth.
Exactly.
To see if it gets steamy.
Anyway, so he just lays him face down in a puddle, so now he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
Or is he? And he takes his sister.
He evil dead?
Nailed it. So he takes his sister up, buries her.
As we all would like to do.
Yeah. While he's burying her, she's back awake and evil again.
Like, why are you dead? But she's herself for a little bit.
For a second.
Yeah.
And then when she realizes when that doesn't work.
She's laying on the guilt.
Right.
What? Mom hates you and she's burning in hell and you'll see her in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
Anyway, so he buries her. The tree goes out, indicating that she's no longer evil.
It took about 5 minutes.
He digs her up, puts her on the ground next to the grave, and then stabs her in the heart and brings her back to life.
No. Shockingly, the car battery defibrillator does not work.
It doesn't?
His love is what brings her back to life. His brotherly love.
Duh, Todd.
Oh, my God.
Because the defibrillator, you can't just strap some syringes to a car battery, stab it in somebody's heart, and expect them not to die already if they're not already dead, or come back to life.
I disagree.
What the
brotherly
fuck?
love.
Exactly.
Yeah,
anyway,
sibling love.
There is a sweet moment right there where she's like, thank you so much for not leaving me.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a little teary-eyed.
Oh, did you?
Whatever,
nice
man.
break from the
because
gore.
somebody wasn't getting a part of their body either cut or ripped
I know.
off.
It was a nice reprieve. Anyway, so he's like, stay here. I'm going to go get the keys. We're going to bone the fuck out.
Yeah.
And he goes in, grabs the keys, stays back to grab a picture, and then he gets stabbed in the throat by Evil Lee.
Yeah.
Evil
with
long-haired
like
Lee.
pliers.
Yeah.
This is also kind of a weak kill, too. That's probably the weakest kill of the movie.
Yeah, but the
him.
reveal
I
of
can see
Lee,
that.
I think the jump scare factor kind of elevates it. But yes, it was not, and I'm okay with that.
Me too. It was fine.
But I mean, you could also say it's a male body that is not getting ripped apart, because the bodies that do get ripped apart and really fucked up are the women's bodies.
It is. You're right. Oh, I didn't. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're absolutely right. You're like, of course I'm right. I can't remember the last time I wasn't right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when she comes in and tries to help.
Yeah.
And he sort of like, let's just go, grabs the keys and starts to leave.
Yeah.
And then gives her the keys and says, get out of here.
Yeah.
Closes the door with him still inside, and then grabs the shotgun and shoots the empty jug of, not empty jug, but the jug of
gasoline.
Exactly. And the whole thing kind of blows up.
Yeah.
Fire starts, and that's when she starts to back away.
Yeah.
And clearly they both die.
And then she finds the necklace on the ground, the magnifying glass.
Yes.
Not magnifying glass.
You guys kept calling it non-magnifying glass. Is
There's
that from the first one?
a magnifying glass thing in the first one.
Okay. I didn't get that, but
The power of magnifying glasses.
That's the power of magnification. Yeah. Michael J. Fox would have been great in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But because they have collected 5 souls, this is what brings back the Evil Dead.
Okay, so who are these 5 souls? Because I was a little confused. Are we counting Mia as a soul?
I don't think we have to, because it's long-haired Lee, Olivia, Natalie, brother.
Grandpa?
Oh,
if it's not Grandpa,
interesting.
it's got to be Mia.
Lady from the beginning?
Yeah, it could be Mia
No, I
because
don't think
she
Lady from the beginning
technically died and then
She
came
did technically
back.
die.
Yeah.
So I think that's the 5 souls.
And that's how they purified her. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So, but he got Grandpa in there just as an extra.
Can I just say this?
Yeah,
All dogs go to heaven.
that's true.
Do they, Todd?
That is a good movie.
Yeah, have you not
Did
seen
trying
the
to think
beast
of a
from
song I
Sandlot
can
go to
sing.
heaven?
Oh, I'm out.
Why should I worry? There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, so Mia is now having a fight with the girl from the beginning.
Because she has come, it started to rain blood.
Yes.
And she has come up out of the ground trying to.
Great effects.
Yeah.
Love
dude.
it.
I honestly thought at the point the fire in the house, it was over.
Right.
And then I was like, why is it raining blood? And that's when the Evil Dead woman comes out.
And I think there might be an alternate ending where it is over.
Oh, okay.
At that point.
I mean,
I'm a
it's
little
fine.
unclear
I
about
hated this movie, but but I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Like, I get it. It's just not for me. I fucking hate
But
it
it's
all.
well done and it's written
Sure.
well.
So they're fighting. She finds a chainsaw in the shed.
Yes.
And then is struggling to start the chainsaw, which.
And they give
whatever.
those little shots with the shotgun and the chainsaw for all
Yeah.
the fans to be like, there's the chainsaw. Because she sees a knife and she's like, no. The chainsaw.
But
That's what we
then
get.
Evil Dead woman gets the knife. You should have kept both.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and she stabs her and she keeps like stabbing through her arms.
Ooh,
and
that was hard to watch for me.
Yeah.
Clint was over there laughing, but I was like,
Yeah, so she punches out of the wall. There's a Mia-shaped hole in that wall,
There's
too.
definitely a Mia-shaped hole in that
shed.
wall. She leaves the shed, runs to the back of the Jeep.
Yeah,
and
gets underneath the Jeep.
Starts
And
Jeep.
then that's when it starts.
crawls
the chainsaw
under
starts,
it.
and then she swings it out and like cuts
the
off the
legs
Evil Dead
off.
woman's
Yeah.
leg.
Yep.
Just one of the legs, I think. I think it's just one.
I mean, it's enough to make her non-functioning walk.
Right.
Yeah.
She can only crawl.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then.
And then she tries to get out from under the car, but this is a demon, so she can still flip cars. Lands on her hand.
Yep.
The car lands on her hand.
On her arm, sort of. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But she can't reach the chainsaw.
And as the Evil Dead chick is slowly starting to crawl around the car, that's when she's
rips
I'm
her
tired of
own body off.
she 127
body
hours.
away from her arm.
She did pull 127 hours, and I thought about that movie in this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was
Is
like, I
that the
swear to
number?
God, if she drinks a blood puddle of water because she's so thirsty, I'm out.
Yep.
She then rips her own arm off, and then the scene where she phallically chainsaws this chick in half.
That's the money shot. The whole
so
movie is just foreplay leading up to this moment.
It was amazing. It was gross as fuck, but amazing.
I think it's just going to go down as very iconic.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
that
so
scene.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
because she jams it in, and then she's like going
Holds
back
it
and
in
forth.
there.
Yeah, and like going up and like she's
Staying
jamming
in,
all
staying in
around.
here.
guys,
Yeah, man.
when you know what?
Leave it in, Todd.
I'm not going to be sophomore today.
Leave it in.
No, you're not massaging.
You're welcome, Kate.
And then there's a triumphant shot of the
Final shot of her.
Yes.
The end.
And the two split in half. The girl split in half on the ground, blinking on each side.
Yeah, that was real gross.
And then she sinks into the ground. She's like, take you back to the ground, bitch, or something like that.
Go back to hell, bitch, or whatever it was.
I like take you back to the ground, bitch.
I like take you back to the ground, bitch. Yeah, that was clever marketing for a shitty horror movie.
And then we do see the book again.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And one thing you noticed, too, is when the book was flipping through, it was the poster for the original movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah. At one point.
One of my favorite horror movie posters, too, is the original one.
Evil Dead.
It is pretty good.
She's coming up. Yeah, I have that somewhere.
But that's the end of the movie.
That's the end?
That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Until we see the credits. And then who is at the end of the credits? It's Ash.
Is it?
Well, Todd, I think you were in the bathroom.
I had to pee so bad.
It was just a shot of his face, and it confused everybody, and nobody really knew.
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom. First thing I did, check behind the shower curtain.
Did you? That's always what you should do.
I can't.
In your backseat?
Oh, it's so gross. All right, so let's talk box office, right?
Yeah. How much do you guys think this movie cost to make?
$1 billion.
It was all practical, right?
Yeah.
One location movie, all practical. No big names. I'm going to say $7 million.
17.
You're
getting better.
Yeah.
Hey, but you got one of those numbers, right?
Yeah.
Still got a lot of effects, though. Like a lot of
True.
practical.
And it was a long shoot because there were so many practical effects.
But $17 million is still relatively cheap.
It is.
For sure, yeah. $54 million domestic.
That's really good. That's really good.
Domestic and foreign put together, worldwide total of 97.
That's honestly really good for $17 million.
Yeah, $17 million.
Yeah,
I'm sure they spent a lot marketing it, but that's pretty good.
And still probably made a little bit extra on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
So, warrants a sequel for sure.
So, do we have any Jenn's fun facts?
Fun facts. Yeah, kind of. I've been putting them in a little bit. Diablo Cody apparently brushed the script up to kind of Americanize it because neither of the people who wrote the script were from America.
I wish I
had
known that.
She doesn't have a credit. Oh, you don't like her?
No.
Didn't you see Tully and like it?
Who's Diablo Cody?
It was all right.
Tully, clearly.
Tully and
I didn't see
Jennifer's
Tully,
Body, I think, too.
Well, she had just done Jennifer's Body before this, so I guess it's like Jennifer's Body is awful.
Oh, I think it's okay.
Oh,
it's
gross.
Good. Put it on the list.
Todd would love it.
Feminist things to say. Yeah, you would like it.
A lot of nudity?
There's a lot of
I'm into it.
Naked Megan Fox in that movie.
Oh, hang on.
It was originally rated NC-17.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they had to cut it quite a bit.
God, I want to see that NC-17 cut.
Okay.
Isn't there an unrated cut somewhere?
There is an extended version, and it got... And it's a rumor, like it's never been, but it was played on this one station in the UK and then never again. And they think that they just accidentally gave them the wrong copy. And so the station has given it back, but they've also aired it a couple more times. That's what everybody says, but you can't find it.
Damn it.
So yeah, I mean, go for it.
They were doing that they were doing stuff like that with Jason Goes to Hell for a while. There's an NC-17 cut of that. And then finally copies started floating around. So I have a copy of that. It's not a good movie though. Of course. So fuck it.
Jason Goes to Hell. I like Jason Goes to Hell. Okay, so they used 70,000 gallons of fake blood.
Wow.
And 50,000 for the final scene alone, which when it's raining
that
blood,
makes sense, yeah.
In the original, that was 200 to 300 gallons of fake blood.
Wow.
Most of it is shot in order because they fucked the cabin up so much that they didn't want to have to go back and clean walls or try to recreate it.
Yeah, and it's one location, so you have that benefit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that probably helped with the actors.
This is one of those one location movies where I don't mind it.
You don't mind it at all. It's breezy. It's a breezy movie. I never felt like it was slow paced.
Describe this as breezy at all.
Pace wise, it was breezy.
It's quick. It clips along. I don't know.
Breezy peasy.
Well, let's jump into the scary scale.
Yeah.
Scary scale, yeah. Oh, I got one more thing. In the 2003, when they were going to just straight up remake it, they talked to Ashton Kutcher and Marlon Wayans to be the new Ash. So I think we can all say thank you for doing this movie instead of just straight up remaking the first one.
Yes, absolutely. I also like how the final girl was the demon at the beginning of the movie. That was a cool sort of switch.
Nice twist.
I don't know if I would actually call her. I mean, I guess you could say she's a final girl, but this is not a slasher.
Girl? Was she the last girl?
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I don't know. That's a more complicated conversation. So would you call this a sequel or a remake?
A remake.
I could go either
way. There's nothing that ties it to the others.
I've never seen. I don't think I can call because I've never seen that. But I could understand why people would see it both ways.
Sure. Well, you would have to establish it as a sequel if it were supposed to be a sequel.
But you could do that in later movies.
You could?
Like you could turn out like Michael Myers was her brother.
I mean, all they had to do was have Ash show up and be like, oh, it's the same cabin from the first movie.
Yeah. He did in the very end.
Well, sort of.
Okay, Evil Dead 13. What are we scary scaling it, Todd?
Do you want to explain the scary scale?
Oh, the scary scale. Yeah. So this is our scale where we say how scary we thought the movie was today. Our example of a 1 is Ghostbusters, and our example of a 10 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is not the quality of the movie scale. This is how scared we were when we watched it.
7.
And I have a guess. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's lower than I thought you were going to go.
What do you think it was?
I thought you were going to go 8 or 9.
Uh-uh.
Okay, 7.
7.
All right. I'm going to say.
I was more uncomfortable than I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
I was very scared at points, but I was throwing almost like I was dry
Yeah,
heaving.
but that could count as, I mean, I think you could take it up
it's
a
up
notch.
there. It is definitely up
because
there
I'm
for
getting
me.
it higher than a 7, and I'm just enjoying the shit out of myself watching this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm giving it an 8.
all right.
Okay. All right.
It's super uncomfortable and but I'm not going to have a problem sleeping. I'm not going to check in the shower stall. I'm not afraid of anything from this movie coming to get
Are
me.
you shaming me?
Except for that thing that's back in
That's
the
not
stairs. back
funny
there.
at all.
Oh, he's checking, guys.
I'm never sitting here again.
Hey, but look, that thing is there specifically to make sure there's not a murderer living in that attic. So
I appreciate
you're
that.
safe there. Clint?
I'm going to give it an 8.
8? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
I forgot
scale higher than Todd?
Yeah.
We did. That's a
Wow.
first.
Think Belle is
I forgot
boiling
just how hardcore this
Oh,
movie
dude,
was.
I had
Yeah.
forgotten too,
Yeah.
and I was doing research last night, and I almost texted you guys. I'm like, Todd, you in for a
Please
treat?
never text me that. Oh,
Because there's a poster that's the most harrowing movie experience you'll ever see, or something, and I posted it on our social.
Yeah, that's a little much.
But it's a
yeah.
rough watch. I
That's
remember
true.
seeing this in the theaters. I was not prepared for how gory it was.
Yeah.
And oh,
all right. So what are we doing next week?
what are we doing next week?
Guys,
Oh, my
we
gosh.
are
Oh, I'm so
into
excited.
Halloween
Yes.
/ October territory. I know we've been doing A-list and B-list alternating, but for October, man, we're just going to bring it. It's just
Yeah.
going to be nothing but A-list. We're going to get more mainstream. Evil
Maybe some
Dead
new
is
releases.
we just kicked October off with Evil Dead. We're going
Yeah.
to do Scream next.
Yes, one of my all-time favorites. I am so excited.
Ditto.
It's the one that
Movie.
restarted the slasher genre, right?
It did.
Ditto.
I've
yes.
heard you guys talk about this.
It
so
yeah.
It is so. I love it so much.
Okay.
I think you're going to be genuinely disturbed by parts of it.
Okay.
It's the movie you're most afraid of. It's just very it's very jumpy.
Is it right behind you right
okay.
now?
Oh, yeah, I was like,
The jumpy slasher seems to
it
be
is a
what you
scary-
have the most trouble
It
with.
is.
So
It is a scary
imagine
movie
the
for
gore on top of that.
And I don't think there's
Okay.
any nudity. Although there's some tight outfits.
ooh.
I mean, you'll enjoy it.
How many bras are in this movie? Was that a sophomoric question? to
There
ask?
was a soft.
There's a Nev Campbell bra. Look, Rose McGowan without a bra, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
be fine.
All right.
It's yeah.
So everyone watch Scream if you haven't already. I'm sure I'm the only person who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, there's a great
Whatever.
book by Alexandra West out about 90s movies, and they talk about Scream, so check that out too.
Cool.
I'm reading it. It's awesome. Hey guys, we are a member of the Modern Horrors Podcast Network. They are the shit. Check them out.
Faux show.
And if you're listening to us in their feed, thank you so much for checking out our show in their feed. If you want to subscribe to us on our feed, please do so. You'll get the show 2 days earlier on Monday instead of on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And follow us on socials at Horror Virgin on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah.
I am Todd J. Awesome on all of those platforms.
Yes.
And
I
that
am
is-
Jenn Ferratu
Yep.
on all of those platforms. I don't really do anything on Facebook though.
I don't really do much on Facebook either anymore. I'm just
Because
I'm out.
social media is the devil.
Yeah, I love Twitter and Instagram though. It's like they're like the best.
We do a lot of, and hey, engage with us. Like we want to know what you think about this movie too. We'd love to get emails from people.
I'd love to see what their scary
Even if it's
scale is.
hate
Yeah.
mail,
Yeah.
bring it on.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we want to hear from you too. And we've got a couple of people on Twitter that we've been, like Alex McNulty and Finley Ash have been like really interacting with us, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Caught in the Clown.
Ooh,
Nice.
Mr. Alex. Anyway,
Yeah.
Catch me on Angel Fire.
yep, the Angel Fire,
Yeah.
the male glaze.
Need some
the,
fanfic. Don't forget
The
to
male
attack
glaze.
The male glaze. Oh, I was going donuts, but you went
The
somewhere
male
else.
glaze.
Male
with it.
glaze.
Ooh, I gotta find me a
I don't
lady that
know
wants.
if I want a donut with male glaze.
You
on
don't.
it.
You know who does? Rhonda.
Whoa.
Tremors.
I would be on the
Whoa.
business end of that glaze. All right.
So that's gonna be it from us, guys. So,
Yeah.
I'm Clint.
I'm Jennifer.
and I'm the Horror Virgin Todd, and we'll see you next week.
Happy October.
Bye, nerds.